Good morning. A very simple program which will be named as HTTP session interface. So it's very useful. So actually session, which simply means a particular time of interval. So a particular interval time which will be called a session. So session tracking is a way to maintain a state of an user. It also known as session management in servlet programming. So each and every user, they send a request to servlet container, that is web container. So immediately a web container create a session ID. Then based on that session ID, which will provide a service. So each and every time which verifies session ID, if session ID is valid, then it's provide a service. So similar way, each and every user, a servlet container which create a session. So the container uses the user ID to identify a particular user. An object of HTTP session can be used to perform two basic tasks, one for binding object, second one for view and manipulate information about session, such as session identifier, creation time, and last access time. So how to get HTTP session object? So the HTTP servlet request, which comprises of two interface method named as public HTTP session get session of, public HTTP session get session of boolean create. So HTTP session, we choose to create a new session. Then similar way, get session of, if get session of which is equal to true, get session of true, which create a new session, get session of false, which collect the data from existing session. So commonly used method in HTTP session interface, first one which is called as get ID. So each and every session which automatically create a unique identifier called as ID. So which return a string container for unique identifier value. So get creation time, which return the creation time of a session. Then get last access time, which return last time the client sent a request associated with this session. Public void invalidate. Invalidate is a method which choose to unbind the session object. Unbind the session object. I am directly entering into programming. So initially I will create a simple HTML program. So form action equal to servlet 1. I create a text box for name, input type equal to text, name equal to username. Input type equal to submit. So the submit the username which will be sent to servlet 1. This is a template of servlet 1. So common template. So importing packages, public class first servlet, extend HTTP servlet, public void do get of same, print writer, then out.close, try and catch. Everything was common, same template. Inside that I will write my code. So string n equal to request.get parameter of username. So whatever data is submitted via HTML form, which received via request parameter. Out.println welcome n. So welcome username. Now I will create a session. So HTTP session is an object which is equal to request.get session of. So I will create a new session. Session.set attribute username, uname, comma n. So now I will create a new session, the session which comprising of a name, uname, and value as whatever you are passed. Now I will have a link anchor tag which will be moved into servlet 2. Now I will create a servlet 2 which has same template. Template was same. Package, do get, print writer, that fine. Inside that I will write my code. HTTP session object, request.get session. Request.get session of false in the sense which collect the data from existing session. If true means create a new session. It already created in first start servlet, so collect data from that session. So request.get session of. So string n equal to that is typecasting string session.get attribute of uname. So whatever uname you are passed via that form which is collected via session. So just print the thing. So always you are login to your machine, then immediately your session variable which is stored in a session object. Then after login you are entering into all other pages. It verifies the session page. If session was correct, then it validate. So each and every time for verifying session is was toughest one. For that reason, the last class we will discuss about filter. So session verification which is added in filter 2. So this is a basic overview of session creation. So it's a web.xml file. So same servlet 1 as well as servlet 2. Thank you.